Hi everyone, welcome to another Cabinet Vision Guy tech tip. We've been looking quite a lot recently at how we can use JavaScript to shape some assemblies, and we've been looking at some advanced assembly shaping. But I thought I'd put out a tech tip today just to show us how we can use our shaping multiplier without JavaScript to shape a set of tall units that are going against a wall. So typically what I'll do in this scenario is I'll be using the 2D CAD multiplier as well to draw myself some CAD in. Now I've right clicked on my wall and created myself a shape for the wall itself, but obviously I'll have a set of measurements to follow here from an on-site survey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out just by heading into CAD, and obviously with this I can use this snap marks to trace over the current angle that I've got here. But if needs be, what I'd be doing is just drawing a line in this direction, entering the measurement that I need on the left hand side, and then using that to essentially just draw myself a guideline of how I want to shape the wall and then how I want to shape the assemblies that are going below it. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the offset command, and then I'm going to offset my initial CAD by the distance essentially, or the void space that I want to leave at the top of the taller units. So I'm going to offset this by 150, and that's going to make up my top filler size. And then if we need to, what we can do is just draw ourselves a couple of lines going across the top and side of the wall. And we can do this just to use the join command and connect to just make sure our line is going to run right to the outside and top of our wall. So from here, what I'm going to do is just hit return, and I'm going to head into objects and I'm going to drag in my first assembly. And I'm going to move the position or the clearance on the left hand side to just give myself a little bit of room for a side filler. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to specify the width of the assembly that I want to use. So if I copy this over a few different times, obviously we're not quite sure what width of assembly we want to use until we get to this back wall here. So if I just specify I want a 40mm on the right hand side, and now what I can do is highlight all of the assemblies here, right click and choose to equalize widths. So now I've got my assembly size set. What I need to do is start to introduce some shaping. So I'm going to click on my first assembly and I'm going to click edit shape, and then I'm going to use the lines that I've got in place as a guide, and I'm going to just hit line and trace over the top, and I'm going to hit trim and delete to get rid of the bits that I don't want. And when I'm ready, I'm going to hit return and save the shape. And I'm going to do the same for this unit as well. So edit shape, hit chain line, and again I'm going to go right to the outside of the CAD line that I've used and just get rid of the bits that I don't want. And the same for this unit as well. Now what you might need to do, if I just trim this up slightly, if we click on one of the sides here, we might need to set this to a particular type. So for this one, I'm going to set top, and I'll hit return. And we'll probably have to do the same for these as well. So just specify the type here as top, and then the same for the last one. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing any shaping like this through an elevation view, I like to make sure I've got one of the preferences ticked. So if I just go to preferences, and under layout, we've got the option down here, edits the assembly at assembly level, or we've got sections the assembly in the elevation. I like to have sections the assembly in the elevation ticked, so that what we can do, if we double click on the assembly from elevation, we actually get all of our sectioning tools up at the top, and it's basically as if we're on assembly level but through elevation. So if we want to, we can then begin to section the interior of the assembly and then add in things like adjustable shelves and the inside. Hopefully you found this tech tip useful. Feel free to give us a like, share and subscribe. We're also on Facebook, that's facebook.com/thecabinetvisionguy, and Instagram too, that's instagram.com/thecabinetvisionguy. Cheers!